If you've ever been pulled over or ever had to call the police for an emergency, how many times have you seen a woman respond to the call? There's a good chance it's been very few, if at all, and there's a reason for that. Women have been underrepresented in policing for decades, but now research points to benefits of hiring more women, like less use of force, named in fewer complaints, and often get better outcome for victims. Now local police departments are joining a national push to get more women to wear the badge.
It was tough. It was a tough thing. Cried a lot of times.
It's a tough job, no matter who you are.
Your family don't want you to do this in the first place.
But in recent years, the underrepresentation of women in policing has drawn national attention. In the wake of deadly police shootings, troubling patterns have been revealed and countless cries have been made for a different type of policing. With women making up only 12% of sworn officers and 3% of police leadership in the country, many departments have pledged to join the 30 by 30 initiative, increasing the number of women recruited to 30% by year 2030. Assistant Police Chief Crystal Young Haskins says the Little Rock Police Department has accepted the charge and their team hit the ground running.
We hear the public when they criticize us about excessive force. There's research out there that says that women are better de-escalators. They don't resort to force first, they communicate first, and then uses of force become a last resort.
Sergeant Dawana Phillips is over the department's recruiting office. We first met her last July when many of the women of LRPD gathered outside of Central High to film recruiting videos in hopes of attracting women to the force. And 7 months later,
this particular cycle, we've had an uptick in women joining the police department.
In fact, the most recent recruits mark the department's centennial class, made up of 9 men and 11 women.
We've never gone into a hiring process, to my knowledge, where half of the class could potentially be female. That's new.
And they're hoping it'll make a difference. Underrepresentation of women in policing can have its share of consequences.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, man.
That's good.
Sergeant Marilyn Thompson of University of Arkansas at Little Rock Police Department knows this to be true. She's not only lived it, but studied the statistics too. In 2017, she wrote a research paper for the Criminal Justice Institute titled Triple Threat: Black, Female with a Badge. In it, she explores the history of women in law enforcement and the benefits of having Black women on the force, especially when policing in minority communities. Research from the National Center for Women in Policing also found that female officers demonstrate more concern, patience, and understanding than their male colleagues when responding to calls of domestic violence. In that same study, they found battered women who made contact with a female officer rated the police response as more favorable and helpful than those without contact.
You got to be able to communicate and talk to people. When you communicate and talk to people, not talk at people, because if I'm talking to you and you genuinely feel like the message I'm giving you is true and correct, whether you like it or not, you'll buy into it.
Women are really good communicators from the research that is out there, and so that helps us when we're out and responding to these police incidents, and they're typically intense situations.
With their target goal of 2030 in mind, departments like LRPD are relentlessly working to see more women in blue in hopes of not only changing the policing culture, but having a more positive impact on the community they serve.
Since 2015, police have been under a microscope, and the constructive criticisms that we've received from the community, they're not lost on us, and we're making reforms.
All right, so if you're interested, LRPD is now accepting applications for Recruit Class 101, which will begin in August of 2022. Something new this class will see is eligibility for a $10,000 sign-on bonus and a residency incentive bonus. If you're interested, we have more details posted within this story on our website, thv11.com.